Adrian,
Si, senor.
how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better now. As like time is like starting to go by, like I'm like starting to settle in for me. I'm happy, but again, I'm not fucking satisfied. Not whatsoever at all. Like I'm ready to go.
How does it feel to be back in the win column after a rough year? And it was a violent knockout, bro. Like, how does that all feel?
Man, it feels really good. Man, like last year sucked. Can't sugarcoat it. It sucked for me. It really took a lot out of me, especially with like having surgery at the end of the year, having to sit out for a little bit, kind of just having to sit with my own thoughts. Sitting on a machine, moving my leg for me. So that really sucked. But it kind of like made me realize that like no one else is gonna want it as bad as I do, and I had to pick myself up by the bootstraps, and get myself going, because at the end of the day, it's on me. Like I put myself in that position. It was my fault. Like my 2023 3 year was caused by me, and I have to pull myself up out of that. So no one else to blame but me. And you know what? At the end of the day, like 2024 right here, like we're 5 months into it, and I'm finally here. I'm really fucking excited to get here and get the victory. So yeah, like I'm happy.
What was the game plan going into the fight? You said that. Were you really trying to go 15 minutes?
I had full intent on going 15. I had full intent. Like I wanted to keep my base, but as time went going, like I was telling my training partner Cameron, all the day is like I know I could touch him. I had to like feel for the speed. Like once I got in there, I was like, I got to see his speed. I got to see his speed. I got to see how fast he is, because it looked deceiving watching him fight all these other guys. And I'm like, nah, I think he's faster than that. I think he's way faster. I don't know if he's like. It was kind of hard for me to like gauge like watching film, but once I was in there, I was like, oh shit, he's faster than what I thought. And then his head movement was like one of those things. I was like, okay, like I started like there was a couple of times where I overextended, but he was so out of base that like it was easy for me to like kind of retract myself. So once I saw his feet, I was like, all right, cool. Like I know I can get to him. I pretty much did to him what was done to me last year. So for me, I was like, okay, as soon as I get in a certain position, I know I'm gonna let this right hand go. I was gonna let the right hand left hook, but all I needed was the right hand.
Obviously, he was kicking your legs. Are you going to expect everyone to kick your legs from now on?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And I got my Muay Thai coach over there, fucking drilling checks for me. So yeah, like I think he only landed one, and it was kind of up in the cup too. So I was like, yeah, it was like other than that, it is what it is, man. I checked a couple, man. So fuck y'all. Hey, also, it's still fuck you and your parlays, guys. I don't care. I see a couple of the guys that fucking DM me or like in my comments, like I was seeing that before the fight, and I was like, bro, like you're gonna treat the fans like this? It's like that put money on you? I was like, yeah. Yeah, the fuck you mean? I'm sorry, man. I'm letting my tongue fly. I'm sorry. That it just really pissed me off. My bad. Oh, damn. All right, let's go, Chaos.
Do you think
Right.
the stoppage was a little late?
Honestly, I don't know, because he was moving, he was doing all the right things. There's like he did. I think when he pulled my base down from my head, he did cause a disruption in me punching, but like I was landing solid shots, and I was like I was like telling. Not telling him, but I was hearing Chris Theoni, and I was waiting for him to be like, fight back. And then, like, 5 seconds later, that's whenever he yelled, fight back. And I was like, all right, cool. I just got to continue punching. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I was like, oh, shit. Once the fight was stopped, I thought he was good because he was still kind of moving. But then whenever I walked off and I saw him still on the ground, I was like, oh, shit. Like, it kind of settled in. I started looking. I was like, oh, damn, like he was still down, and like honestly, all the thoughts in my head were just like, oh shit, I thought I killed a guy. I was like, nah, and I started feeling really bad, and I had to sit down, and I was just like, I had to just sit back and just like, man, make sure he was good. So, but yeah, thankfully I saw him. He's good. He's all right. But yeah, I feel like it could have been stopped a little bit earlier.
What's next? What's the plan? Do you want to jump back into the rankings? Do you want to take a little slower? Like what's your mind frame right now?
Honestly, it's whoever wants it. Like I had a couple guys call me out. I know John Castaneda has a really tough fight in front of him. I think against Daniel Marcos. Daniel Santos, though, on the other hand, doesn't have a fight booked. me and him in the sphere, I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that would be fun. And also too, man, fucking Victor Henry looked really good in his last fight. I think that would be one for the fans as well too. I think the fans would actually love that. But yeah, honestly, to me, it really even doesn't matter. All this is respect, except for the other two that called me out. So, but yeah. All love, I'm gonna go out here and fight everybody like fucking hard. So it is what it is.
And so, do you want to take a couple months off and then return for the sphere, or do you want to fight before the sphere and then fight in the sphere?
Honestly, it kind of just depends on how everything kind of plays out. I wanted to get 3 in, but I don't know how realistic it is for me, especially being 5 months in. August, September is a really good return date for me. Like right before some big personal life changes happens, so I'm really, really hoping I get a sphere fight. That would be amazing.
And finally, when's Cam coming to the UFC?
Man, hopefully soon, I'm going to have to Jason always says this, we're going to have to Tanya Harding on a motherfucker, so, but yeah, no, hopefully he comes in, man. I want to see him. I want to be in his corner, like how he's been in my corner for the UFC fights, man. I want to see him go out there and like get a win, man. He absolutely deserves to be here in the UFC. He showed he's capable of being here. He has the skills. And then on top of that, man, like y'all hear me right now, like Cam is like 5 times worse. Like he's like he'll make y'all laugh, he'll make y'all angry. It doesn't matter, whatever you want. Like he's the show.
Super petty.
Yeah.
Congrats on the performance, man. When you see a guy like Vinicius Salvador, I'm sure you're expecting the unorthodox style that he presents his opponents. I mean, he even threw a Rabona kick during the fight. So how did you prepare for a guy like that?
Honestly, I have a training partner who's pretty unorthodox as well. Throws kind of similar to Salvador, just that the head movement's not kind of there. But again, like I always knew, like even looking back, if you look at boxing, a lot of guys, the way you get to a lot of guys is like you try to catch them off their base. Prince Naheem, I can't forget who beat him. I think it was Barrera, I believe.
Vergara?
No, Prince Nazim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Watching him. I'm probably messing that up right now, but yeah, like watching a lot of these guys who get real unorthodox, you got to make sure that you keep your base and try not to let yourself get out of position. Even though I got myself a little bit out of position this time around, but like I knew I was gonna get to him. I just need to find the timing, make sure that I take the step in. Because if I didn't take the step in, like a lot of guys before, they weren't able to reach him. So for me, I just knew I had to take that step in, the initial step in, keep my base, and just let my hands fly. So again, he sways a lot. So I was just trying to catch him on that return. So for me, like I wanted to go to the body a lot more, but I felt like in that moment he was picking up on it. So, he did a solid job. He did a really solid job of minimizing my attacks to the body. It was a short fight, but he did a really good job in that moment. And
kind of how you just mentioned in the cage and just with Alex about going 15 minutes, I'm sure you wanted to craft a 3-round performance, and you said 3 10-8s if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I mean, after a knockout like that, where you yourself even feel bad for your opponent, do you just think that's the better message to set out, or would you have preferred the 3 10-8s across the board?
Honestly, whichever one, man. Again, like for me right now, unless there's another like extremely badass knockout, I think I got 50 G's in my pocket. So for me, like I'm really either or would have been fine for me. Knocking him out fine and early, is way better. I have the cardio to go to all 15, but at the same time, if I don't have to, then fuck it. I don't want to go all the way.
And that leads me right into my next question. Looks like you and Chaos could be walking away at 50 G's. So if you do get it, what would you be doing with the bonus?
Oh man, I'm gonna buy my family some good things. Okay, no, honestly, probably just gonna spend it on food, put it in the bank, and make sure that I invest it in the right places, man. I'm just ready. Like I'm just ready, man. I'm just ready to start investing and start building generational wealth with whatever I get.
Awesome. And before your previous 2 losses, we hadn't seen you lose at all inside the UFC. So, how hard was the mental aspect of fight camp? I know mental health in sports is something very strong, but especially in the fight game where, I mean, one day you're the star, the next day people forget about you. So how hard was the mental aspect of preparing for a fight like this?
Yeah, so the mental aspect was really hard on my end, especially from the Font fight, because like immediately afterwards, I knew that I fucked up and I was yelling at myself and all that stuff, and like I took it really, really hard, and kind of going into that Jonathan Martinez fight, like I didn't get the chance to really kind of get over it. So while I was walking to the cage, I was still kind of thinking about that fight in my head. I never had really gotten over it. So once I got in there, like mine was still kind of fuzzy about it, and then. Man, like you can't do that against a guy like Jonathan, man. And especially first kick, fucked my leg up, and I was like, oh shit, like damn, like I'm in a world of hurt right now. So it sucked, but yeah, after like honestly, like the positive I take about having that surgery, like right after that Martinez fight, was having to sit back and actually get the time to actually just have and collect thoughts for myself and start kind of reanalyzing what I need to do, because again, man, once you're sitting on the couch for 4 days, having to stay on a machine for 8 hours a day, like there's only so much TV you can watch. There's only so much stuff you can get like for distractions until you have to start addressing the stuff that's actually in your mind. And for me, that it happened, and I had to address a lot of this stuff. So it actually made me more angry at myself because I know I'm way better than my performances in 2023. You know, so 2024, man, again, came out with this great performance, and I'm ready to go out there and do it again.
That's awesome. Good to see you back like this, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Adrian, congrats on the win.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's awesome. You mentioned Nassim Hamed because you were like had to do with that upper body movement.
Yeah.
Thinking crazy. So you were his Marco Antonio Barrera tonight.
Yeah.
You put a stop to that. How much do you go back to the tapes and just kind of on some free time be like, you know what, let me watch some boxing real quick and see I can incorporate that into my MMA game?
Oh, I do it all the time. Like, man, I do it all the time. Also, there's a good guy, modern martial artist on YouTube, man. I watch a lot of his stuff as well, too. Like, he does really good breakdowns. He'll break down, like, one fighter, like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. I know he does, like, Muay Thai, like, with Boy Cow and all that stuff. And, yeah, like, he does it a lot. So I will go back and actually watch his breakdowns from a different point of view from what I see and start kind of just seeing what they see and like what I see and kind of just build off of that, you know. So again, like I used to be like, I'm still a big Canelo fan, so like the boxing combinations, I'd get on the bag and just start trying to do a lot of combinations that like Canelo would do. Yeah, so in my spare time when I have nothing in front of me, I will sit there and I will like watch a lot of boxing fights and just try to mimic a lot of the stuff of what they do. You know, and for this one, I was just like, all right, keep my base and making sure that like I'm doing what I need to do. You know, I kind of took it as like him being Anderson Silva and like me trying to be Chris Weidman. You know, so that's the approach I was taking. Not trying to overextend myself and put myself in a bad position, but I was trying to make sure that I took the step in, you know, and make sure I was gonna be able to land the shot. So it worked out perfectly in my end. So yeah, man, I consistently go back to boxing and watch what I can do better, you know. So big shout out to boxing, man. They do wonders in their sport, man. I really love that was my first love before MMA, you know, watching boxing fights with my family. So yeah, I absolutely love it.
That's awesome, man. And how crazy, right? That one day when you hang them up and you open a gym, full-time commentator, all that good stuff, you'll come across someone watching your fights and studying you. So that's just...
Yeah, man. It's absolutely amazing, man. The thought process of that is like still kind of wild to me. I'm like, you know, because in my head I'm just like, man, I feel like there's a lot of mistakes I make, you know. So hopefully I'm able to clean that up, you know, and make sure that I give a better technical aspect for the people coming up, you know.
For sure, man. And last for me, we had Timba who was talking about his coach's mom passing away. May she rest in peace. Mm-hmm. You were just so transparent about Texas. How much was that of a factor, if anything, when you guys get in that cage and you're like, man, let me just use the octagon as a way to get away from this for a moment and just be here in the moment?
Yeah, it was really hard, especially because I was cutting weight, like whenever all this stuff was kind of happening. Like I was starting my initial cut, and while I was starting my cut, man, I'm scrolling through Instagram and all that stuff, and I'm starting to see all the damage that was happening, you know, and I wasn't getting updated, you know, so I had to go out and like look at like making sure that I'm messaging my family back home, seeing that they were good. You know, my mom's house lost power, and I know downtown Houston got it really, really bad. So, yeah, and there's a lot of places, like I think there was like close to 1 million people without power. So for me, it was tugging at my heart because again, it's hot as shit out there, humidity's high, So for a lot of people it really sucked, and I think there's like close to 7 to 10 deaths already just because of that storm. So yeah, it's crazy, it's nuts, man. So again, hopefully everybody got helped.
For sure. Thank you, sir. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Just a quick one. I know you were preparing for your fight while the Fury Usyk fight happened, but I just saw you're a big boxing fan. So, what are your thoughts on Usyk becoming undisputed heavyweight champion today?
Oh wait, he just won?
Yeah.
When that happened?
Today, it was actually during the card. Yeah.
10-15 minutes. He just beat Fury?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Split
I missed
decision.
that. I missed that. I got to go back and watch that. Holy shit!
Yeah, it
All
was a
right,
good fight.
man, bro, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I got to go back and watch that, dude. Fury lost. Yeah, Fury lost.
Yeah, that's a fun one. You guys will have fun watching it.
Who do you see as pound for pound number one in boxing? Because Terence Crawford even said that he thinks Usyk's now got a claim because of what he's done in the past, but we've got a Niue as well. Who do you see as the top one out of those three guys?
Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. Anyways, man, it's just an absolute monster, man. He's an absolute monster. But again, man, Usyk, man, he just beat Fury. I think he came undisputed, right? After this, yeah, wasn't he undisputed at cruiserweight as well too? Yeah, undisputed in 2 weight classes. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard not to place him as number one pound for pound. But also at the same time, Terence Crawford kind of deserves that number one spot too, man. Again, like how bad he did Errol Spence. That was kind of, it was an absolute beating. So I don't know, like it's hard, man. You could literally on any given day like argue Inoue being number one, Terence 2, Usyk 3. Like you wouldn't be able to tell me like. You wouldn't be able to sway me any other way. Like I'd be like, oh yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Oh, you think this way? Oh, I think you're right too. Like it's hard to debate that because they all accomplish a lot of phenomenal things. So, yes sir. All right, we're good. Thank you.